I just listened to Kendrick Lamar's new album. Well, actually, I listened to it as soon as it dropped. It's 12 tracks on it, and the name of the album is G and X, which is the name of the car that he's in front of. Y'all, I was like wondering, like, okay, why didn't he do any promo? I didn't hear any buzz leading up to this album whatsoever. No secrets fell out of his camp. I mean, per usual, Kendrick Lamar has to have the best camp out there because we never hear any leaks from him. But, anyways, we know that Kendrick Lamar is doing the Super Bowl in February. So, of course, we're expecting some type of album to drop at some point. But I'm thinking, as calculated as Kendrick is, and from his previous albums, there's always some type of theme. Like the last album, I'm going to say that the theme of that album was him looking inside and working on his mental health, or telling us how he worked through his mental health, just telling us that he's a person too that's broken, that's still learning, you know. And then I feel like the what was the other album before that? I don't know the orders, but they all had some sort of theme surrounding them. This album that he dropped last night, it's centered around the West Coast, and it sounds so nice because on two of the tracks he worked with Mustard, which is a producer from California, and that's also who he worked with on the Not Like Us song. So, I mean, the Not Like Us song was a hit. I'm sure it's going to go diamond pretty soon. So, if I have a song that's going diamond pretty soon, you better believe that I'm going to go work with that producer again. So, they have two songs on the album. I can't tell you exactly which ones, but to me, the entire album is nice and cohesive. Some would argue that it's not, but I think that it is. Some of my favorite songs on the album is Whacked Out. I like Whacked Out. And in that song, he's talking about a lot of industry stuff. He did mention Lil Wayne's name, but to me, it definitely wasn't a diss. He's just like, to me, he was saying, how can you not give me my props for getting this Super Bowl performance? It's just like, dang, I'm working hard too. I deserve it too. You deserve it, and I also deserve it. And I got it. So, since I got it, be real and just tell me congratulations. He was saying that Nas is the only person in the industry that congratulated him. And to be quite honest, that's the only person that I did see congratulate him because everybody was so busy talking about, oh, Lil Wayne deserves it. And don't get me wrong, Lil Wayne is such a phenomenal artist. But Kendrick also is a phenomenal artist. Two things can be true at once. And I think a lot of times people forget that. We can have two truths, okay? But ultimately, the decision was to bring Kendrick Lamar on board. So at the end of the day, everybody just has to respect that. And we do know, as an artist, Kendrick Lamar is going to put on a wonderful show. We know that those 15 minutes is probably going to feel like an hour. If you, like me, and you watch the Pop Out show and you've been to one of his concerts, you know what type of performer he is. He's going to put his all into it. It's going to be some type of theme. It's going to be very cohesive. You're going to just feel, I don't know, he has this way of doing his things. He put a lot of thought in production. I'm sure his production budget is out the wazoo. And don't get me wrong, I do know that at the Super Bowl, people are paying for their own performances. I don't know if y'all know that. The Super Bowl does not fund them. They're just getting like the publicity, like the commercials. And of course, like it helps increase album sales. It helps get their names out to different people around the world because I mean we know Kendrick Lamar in the US. He is an international star, but I am sure that it's still people that might not exactly know who he is. But I guarantee you after that Super Bowl they're going to know exactly who he is because he's going to perform amazing. Um and this is not to say that Lil Wayne wouldn't have performed amazing, but I did see some clips of him performing and he just seemed a bit winded. I heard a bunch of yelling in the microphone. And at a Super Bowl on a stage like that, you really don't need that. Not saying that he couldn't have got prepared for the Super Bowl. I'm sure he would have. But I am very excited to see Kendrick Lamar perform. I'm excited to see what Kendrick Lamar's next album is going to be about. I also think that it's for sure going to be another album because on his video that's posted on his page now, I think it's like a snippet of a song. It's 1 minute. There are two cars, just like the one on his album cover right now. So to me, that might be an indicator that there is a second album coming. It's just like when none of us will know that until it drops because it's Kendrick Lamar. But anyways, I want to go ahead and tell you guys some of my favorite songs on the album because if you haven't checked it out, you're gonna want to check it out. You don't want to miss it. So one of my favorite songs is "Whacked Out Murals." Uh, I don't know if y'all know this, but in LA, they whacked out his murals. That's what he's talking about. Like they basically did graffiti over his face, and he's talking about that. And other things, of course, like I said earlier, he's talking about the industry. I also like this song called Squabble Up. It's very West Coast. So if you know how to do them dances they do on the West Coast, that's what you're gonna be doing it. That's what you're gonna be doing on this song. I also like Luther. It has SZA on that song. He using a Luther Vandross sample. It sounds nice. It's the song "If This World Was Mine." I also like "Man at the Garden." It reminds me of if y'all know Nas. Nas, he has a song called "One Mic." It kind of reminds me of that. I also like the song "Hey Now." I think I like all of them. Let's see. I like "Reincarnated." But that one's gonna still have to grow on me a bit. He kind of rapped from it seemed like he kind of rapped like Tupac in a way. Also, I really love TV Off. I think that's one of my favorites for sure, like really hardcore favorite. Actually, this whole run for the rest of it is probably everything that I like. I like so in order is Reincarnated, TV Off, Dodger Blue, Pickaboo, Heart Part 6. I'm glad he did another Heart Part 6, although Drake did the Heart Part 6 when there was the battle going on. I kind of thought that he was going to steer away from doing Heart Part 6 since Drake did it. Just like regular programming. We're not going to worry about that little stumble that he tried to do. We're going to keep the program going just like I would do normal business as usual, whatever the saying is. Y'all know what I'm trying to say. But anyways, Hard Part 6 is very nice. And then I like the last song, Gloria. I don't think I like the G and X song that much. If I had to give it a score on a scale of 1 to 10, I would definitely give it a 8.5. I need to listen to it a few more times. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I listened to it a lot of times already. So I think that's where I'm at with it right now. But you know how sometimes if you keep listening to an album, throughout the week or something like that, you're like, okay, now I understand what this song mean. I understand the flow of the album because I'm the type of person, if I'm listening to an album, I have to listen to it from the top to the bottom. That way I can understand every song and its placement. So I think it's very important to listen to the whole album, even if you don't like a few songs. Don't skip it. Listen, and you'll never go back to it. It's fine, but listen to the album in its entirety to truly get the experience. But yeah, overall, I'm gonna dub this a W for Kendrick Lamar. It was a great album, per usual. Definitely a fan of his, and I cannot wait until he tour after Super Bowl. And I am looking forward to that Super Bowl. So drop a comment below if you have heard Kendrick Lamar's new album or if you plan to listen to it. Also let me know what are your favorite songs if you did listen. And if you didn't listen yet, you're going to want to listen. Trust me. Trust me.